Hello everyone. Tomorrow, or it'll be today by the time this comes out, is the Lake Norman Forest Run Half Marathon, the second race in the Lake Norman Healthy Living Half Marathon Series. The first one being the Lake Norman Wildman Half Marathon that I won back in March. So this is the second race in the series, and I'm going to try and get on the podium again. It's a slightly bigger race and a tougher race, tougher course. With about 1,000 feet of gain or 300 meters of gain within the half marathon. Anyway, here's my flat lay. I will be wearing my black Sustain the Pain singlet that I wore at Umstead. I'm gonna have the same black Rabbit Speedster short tights. Gonna have a slightly caffeinated goo at the beginning, and then a Martin Gel 160 about halfway through. That should be plenty of carbs to get me through a half. Probably don't even need that much. I'll have the Gooder Wrap G sunglasses, bib number 2011, which is a good prime number. That's good luck. And then the results of the poll have me running in the Saucony Endorphin Elite as my race shoe. Not pictured are my Injinji no-show lightweight toe socks that I always wear. Yeah, so let's get to it. All right, it's the night before the half marathon. I'm out here walking with Convoy right now, and hoping it gets darker here in a few minutes because the ISS is supposed to fly over, and I want to get another good view of that. Anyway, plan for the half marathon tomorrow. I did this race 2 years ago, so I'm familiar with the course, and it uses all the roads at Lake Norman State Park, which are hilly. It is all rolling hills. There's almost 1,000 feet of elevation gain in this half marathon, and just as much descent as well. And it's one big out and back with a lot of little out and backs and loops added onto it. So I think the last time I did it, I kind of went out at marathon effort, ended up slower than marathon effort. It is a half marathon. And I was able to win that race. Had about a 30 to 40 second lead for most of it, but my friend Jose was catching up on me, and I think he closed that lead to about 15 seconds. And I was lucky. I didn't know he was closing in on me, but yeah, I still was able to close it up without him catching me. There might be some faster people coming this time. I think I recognize some of the names on the participant list. Like I said, I'm just trying to get on the podium, and keep my standings high in that Lake Norman Half Marathon Series. So we'll see if I can beat my last time there, which was like 127 high, 127.44 or something. Keep in mind, that's 8 minutes slower than my half marathon PR, more than 8 minutes, and about 5 minutes slower than I was fit for at the time. So if I could match that or beat that this time, that would be great. All right, Connor and I are going to try and find this ISS here. Found it. There's the ISS. There's a plane off to the left there, and that's the International Space Station. Moving slowly across the sky. With the tree in the frame, you can see how quickly it's moving across the sky. It's race morning. I'm here on site at the state park. There's some fog over the lake, and it is nice and unseasonably chilly. So it's a good day to try and run fast. Driving in, going over all those hills, I'd almost forgotten how hilly this course is, but yeah, there's gonna be some pain today. Getting my warm-up run in, I'm actually wearing arm sleeves under my shirt. Probably not gonna wear them for the race, but man, in June, to have to wear arm sleeves on the warm-up is a real treat. We'll see if it works out. Looks like there's some fast people here already.
Good job, runners. $12:51 for 2 miles. Here comes the rest of the field. Good job, everyone.
Let's go!
4 miles in, just under 26 minutes. Strung out a little bit. Second place is about 10 seconds behind me. Going down a big long hill at around mile 5 1/4. Gonna have to go back up it on the back end of the race. This is close to the start and end of the Lake Norman State Park 30K I did back in December. Big hill.
Good job, man. Good job.
About halfway. Come on, Maz. Yeah, man. Mile 8 and about 52 flat. It's a 6:30 pace. Still a lot of hills to go.
Yes, sir.
Woo! Hey, Michelle.
Doing great.
Thank you. Woo! Gotta be careful there. About 10 miles in according to the watch. Still just under 6:30 pace. Got a hard 5K left. I think I've got about 50 seconds on second place. Mile 11 in 1:11:11. Couldn't plan that. About 12 miles in, still under 6:30 pace. There's one long hill left, and it is a grinder. Just got to the top of the last hill. All downhill from here. All right, first place overall, and came in at 1:25:20 something, just under 1:25 and a half, which is yeah, that's more than 2 minutes faster than the last time I did this course. It is a nice day for it. So 6:28 pace. I had about 13.2 miles on my watch, which is close enough. Very happy with today's result. Yeah, that course doesn't feel good, but I felt good, was able to kind of lock in even with all the hills. So I'm gonna hang around for awards, and I should still be at the top of the Lake Norman Half Marathon Series because I've won the first 2 races. All right.
With a time of 1:27:50. In second place we have Maz Caramillo with a time of 1:27:18. And in first place we have Chaz Williaman. Thank you. With a time of 1:25:26.
Hello, Comboy and I are out here on the front porch enjoying the day because it's a beautiful June 1st day. Still pretty cool out there. I guess it's not going to get really hot till this afternoon. And I'm going to do my race recap for the Lake Norman Forest Run Half Marathon. Yeah, so I won. I got first place. It was a well-run race,
and I ran a 2+ minute course PR. It's not anywhere near my half marathon PR, but 2+ minutes faster than I did on the previous time I ran it, which is good because if I had run my old time, I certainly would have been third, but I might have been trying to fight for third because today's third place finisher was only a couple seconds behind my old time, and that would have been a fight. But yeah, started off leading, pretty much led wire to wire, but Maz, who was in second place, was never that far behind me for the first 2/3 of the race. He was, you know, between 10 and 20 seconds behind me for the first 8 miles, I would say. And it seemed like every time we did a long uphill and I would, you know, have a turn, a 90 or 90+ degree turn or a turnaround where I could see behind me, he had kind of gained on me on the uphill. I think it's because I was purposely slowing down on the uphills, and he might have been smelling blood in the water and trying to charge up the hill to close some of that distance. And I want to talk about that in a minute. Yeah, so talking about how to run hilly courses, this race in particular. A really hilly course like this favors strength and endurance, and volume, which I think I have in my training. I don't have the best leg speed, but I've got strength and endurance. With a hilly race like this, I'll just kind of get into, you know, racing strategy here. I don't think it's the person who runs up the hills fast who wins. I think it's the person who runs up the hills smart. Because running up the hills fast, it takes so much more energy, and I think that's might have been what happened to Mez. Is he kind of put a little too much energy in those big hills to begin with and didn't have much to respond to toward the end. So let the hills come to you, especially on a course like this. All right, back to the main video. But I would open up again on the downhill. I would say on the flats, but there were no flats. There were no flats in this course. But I would always open it back up. From mile 5 down to about mile 6.5 is one long downhill. It has a couple of undulations when I cross those causeways leading over the lake, but it's a pretty long downhill trend that we turn around at the gate to the park and come back up. So it's a big long climb after that. And I think that big long climb might have taken a bit out of Maz, because the next time I saw him on one of the out and back turnarounds, that gain had increased to over a minute. I thought it was about 50 seconds. It turned out it was probably closer to about 70 seconds. And that was at about 15K in. And I knew that he would be hard pressed to make up that distance in the less than 4 miles left. So if I just kept on doing what I was doing and charging, then I was probably going to seal it up, because I knew that going faster was going to be difficult, but I wasn't going to be slowing down. I knew the course, and I was still feeling pretty strong. Still some long hills though. Confirmed that gap on the next out and back with the turnaround. And then when we went to the campground, that was in the first, couple of miles. We did again in the last couple of miles. He was nowhere to be seen then, so once I knew I was going to get to the top of that hill, he wasn't going to catch me. Came in at 1:25:26 as the official time, and he came in at 1:27:17, I think. So he would have beaten my old time, and then third place and fourth place came in short succession after that. They looked like, when I saw them on the out and backs and stuff, that they were having quite a race between the two of them, and they didn't really break apart until about a quarter mile to go. So then the field started trickling in after that. No one broke the men's course record, but at least the top 3 women broke the women's course record, which was not a terribly fast time, but to have 3 women run faster than it today was good for the race. It was a bigger field. It was a more competitive field, and it was great seeing those big groups of people in the middle of the bell curve on all of the out and backs. I wish I had gotten more video of them actually, because everyone was cheering for runners going the opposite direction. Anyway, I had a lot more fun this time than the first time I ran it, maybe because I knew what was ahead of me. All right, so shoe talk time. I did not mention during the gear flat lay that I was wearing the On Cloud Eclipse for my warm-up and cool down, and this has kind of become my comfort cruiser. Also great for just tooling around town because it looks great. But I was glad to take this off after the warm-up and put on this bad boy. You guys rarely ever steer me wrong when you vote in the poll and tell me what shoe I should choose for a race, and you did not steer me wrong today. I love this thing. This is, I think, only my 5th or 6th run in it. I did 2 long marathon workouts before Chicago, and then I did Chicago, which was a 5+ minute marathon PR, and then I did my second leg of Tobacco Road Relay in this shoe, which we of course won, and I ran better than I expected for 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And then I did this race, which was another win. So it's got a pretty good track record for this shoe. I imagine it's up to about 80 miles now. I mean, that's not counting a couple of shoe offs that I've done with it where it's done like a mile or 2. But yeah. It has the same response that I came to expect. Not really like bouncy, like you would get from the Alpha Flies off of those AirPods, but very smooth and has a firm bounce to it. Definitely firmer than the Endorphin Pro 3, but to me also more energetic. This very aggressive toe speed roll technology here at the toe is usually a bit more of a late stage than I like, but it seems to work for this shoe because when I land on the midfoot doing anywhere between like a 6-minute and 6:30 pace, then I make full use of the midsole, full use of the slotted plate that's underneath it that you can only really see part of. Tap the plate. And then just roll off of really nicely. On the downhills, it was super fun. It wasn't just squishy like you would get from an Alpha Fly or even a Vapor Fly. It just had that firm bounce. And on the uphills, it didn't slow me down. I felt like I had good purchase. This shoe, I always talk about how the upper disappears on your foot so that you can really just enjoy the midsole experience. And it felt good. I didn't feel like I wanted anything else on my feet throughout the whole race. So still very much a fan of this shoe, still have plenty of miles left in it. And they are coming out with new colors. So if I decide, it would be, it would be too much to get another pair, but it's in my head. So Saucony Endorphin Elite, still at the top of my marathon or long distance fast racers. It and the Alpha Fly 3. They are probably tied for different reasons. I am starting to wear down in my high wear area, wear a little bit of the midsole away. This is usually where I wear away Vapor Flies as well, but if that is any indicator how I wear away the Vapor Flies, I've still got a few miles and a few good races left in this. Yeah. All right. Well, that's it for the shoe talk. Thank you guys for watching my race and recap of the Lake Norman Forest Run Half Marathon. Comboy's gonna relax for a while on the porch, and I think I might join him. So don't forget to LSD, which is like, subscribe, and ding the bell for notifications, and I'll see you on the next run.